Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative. What will you be doing in 2 years? We're going to find out what our panelists are planning. Let's welcome them. Dr. Madalene Chan joining us from London. Hello.
Hello, Dr. JACALYN. Hi, viewers.
Nice to see you, dear. And let's welcome also Caroline HEWARD, formerly of London and now in the suburbs. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Lovely to be here.
Hi, Caroline.
Nice to have you with us too. So for those who are just joining, we have a panel of women from around the world, and depending on what they have going on and what the time zone is, we get different people showing up at different times. So Dr. Chan and Caroline are our regulars. They're always here. I can always depend on them for a lively conversation. So thank you both for your friendship, and thank you both for your loyalty and professionalism.
Oh, thank you.
All right, we're going to be talking about 2 years from now, what we're going to be doing. And what really prompted this is, and I am not a paid spokesperson, I don't know Grant Cardone, but his book, The 10X Rule. And I had started reading this before, and I picked it up again as I started a new challenge for myself. And that's what got me to be thinking, when we set goals for ourselves, how high are we really setting them? Or are we setting ourselves up for failure? I know for me, I have said for years, I don't care about being rich. Money's not important to me. Well, guess what? I don't have a lot of money. Consequently, I don't care about being in a relationship. Well, guess what? I'm not in one. So I think it's a matter of reprogramming our brains so that we can be the best version of ourselves. And it's a continuous process because, as you know, we set goals, we reach goals. And then I know for me, I've always got more goals and I'm always on to the next thing. That's part of who I am. Let's go on to our panel and see what their thoughts are. What do you think of, Dr. Chan, when I say to you the 10X rule?
I'm thinking it's more about the thanks rule, 10, as in gratification, being grateful in life. That's what I got, my understanding of just looking at the cover of the book.
Okay, that's interesting. I like it. How about you, Caroline?
Well, I'm rather hoping to 10x my fortune. That would be really good. I've already become mortgage free, so I'm on the way to doing something like that. I'm rather trusting.
Fantastic. Congratulations to you on that. That is exciting. So my takeaway from this, and basically it's right on the cover, the only difference between success and failure is to 10x it. So every goal you have in your life, take it up 10 times. So I have to finish reading the book, but it is an interesting philosophy. Instead of setting our standards, let's say you wanted to make, I'm going to put out a number, $100,000 in a year, make it $1 million. Make it $1 million. Now,
Dr. the mountain.
Yeah, Dr. Chan, what comes up for you? What kind of feelings? And remember your.
I'm always the kind of person that goes, yeah, I want to get one day 10K a month, but I think I'm going to set my goal at 2K. So 2K happened, and it happened within a month. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to go for 3K. and then I'll do 5K, and I'll do it like this, because then I can see the results. Because if I say 1 million at the end of the year, I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to get 1 million? I mean, wow, unless I win the lottery, I don't know.
So let's just have a conversation about this, because this is something that typically impacts women. I'm not saying it doesn't impact men, but a lot of women have this thought process. And I also have had this thought process over time. Caroline, you're very structured, very disciplined. You're excellent with money. I'm not saying that Dr. Chan isn't, or that I'm not, but I know that you definitely are. You watch the bottom line. You're very knowledgeable of where you stand, what you have, what's going on. Yeah. So you heard what Dr. Chan had to say. What would be some advice or commentary that you would provide back to her?
Well, I'm not rich. And I have to be honest with you, I make it work. And that's the difference. I'm never destitute, because it's important for me to make it work. And the only way that you can do that is if you know what your numbers are. If you don't know what your numbers are, then you've got no chance of doing anything. And that's what I do know. I know what like you said, Dr. JACALYN, I know what my bottom line is. I know what I can and I can't do in the numbers of that month. And if there's more, then I just say, oh yeah, I can do this. If I take my focus off clients and working, which I have done a lot of in terms of organizing and selling and buying my new home, then my energy has been dissipated from my work, my clients, and gone into producing a new home. And so it's whatever you focus on, you create. And my focus was on becoming mortgage free, which meant that instead of paying some silly amount of money to Mr. Bank of England every month, I now don't have to pay him anything. And so I worked to clear that and buy a property mortgage free, so cash. So there was a little bit of money sloshing around, not a lot, but it's about what I focus on, I get.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great point. I just want to read something to you. And again, not a paid spokesperson. And I know Grant gets paid very well. So but you want to follow someone who is doing really well so that you can learn from them. So the 10X rule is about what you have to think and do to get to a point 10 times more gratifying than you have ever imagined. This level of success cannot be achieved by quote unquote normal levels of thoughts and actions. That is why even when most of those goals are attained, they don't actually provide sufficient fulfillment. Average marriages, bank accounts, weight, health, businesses, products, and the like are just that, average.
It's true. It really is.
So think small, be small.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way of the Apple guy. What's his name? Steve Jacobs.
Jobs.
Yeah. Oh, Steve Jobs. Sorry, Steve Jobs. Yeah. Look at the way that even when he was at university, he knew that he was going to bend reality. He knew it. That's how he managed to manifest. He had to go even further by actually bending reality. That's what his focus was. And he knew that to make his company, that he had to bend reality. So he went up 10, as what you're saying, Dr. JACALYN, he went up. Instead of saying, oh, I want to build a company and that's it, he went to the top of the mountain and announced it.
Exactly. And we do have a special surprise. Someone's backstage. I'm going to be bringing him out in just a moment. So I want us to shift our mindset so that if you're willing to make the effort, if you're willing to put in the time, do it at a much higher level. And I'm going to bring in something else to this, and then we'll bring in Tiago. So Today, I took a brain fitness test that was designed by Dr. Sadi Rajput from the British School of Excellence, Pakistan. And I found out what my mindset type is, which is balanced and stable. But I had 4 things that I could work on. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to do the 75 Hard program. I started it once. I did it for 2 weeks, and then I gave up essentially because you have to drink a gallon of water. And broadcasting, I was like running back and forth. And I said to myself today, I know what to expect. And I listened to the podcast by the creator of the program. And what I said to myself was the program is designed to be hard. It is a mental challenge. And so if we don't challenge ourselves to get to the next level, we never will. And I think in general, men are much better at this. Let's welcome Tiago Bendin. He's going to tell us his point of view. Hi, Tiago. Welcome to A Woman's Prerogative. Nice to have you.
Tiago.
I hope I am fine with the time.
Yes, no, you're great. So thanks for being here. You're actually, I think, the first man we've had on this show, which is really tremendous. And we're talking, I think, about a very interesting topic, which is success, which is mindset, which is the 10X rule by Grant Cardone. So, Tiago, when I say to you 10X it, what comes up for you?
Oh, I mean, I didn't read the book. So
no, that's okay. You don't have to read the book. What do you think it means? The only difference between success and failure, 10X.
I mean, I think that there is also something that we need to deconstruct in our society, because each person have their own mind to success. Because sometimes we have this very mainstream idea of success, and I think that each person, they have their own perception. But because we are so overwhelmed nowadays, we also need to look more with what we actually want to do. Because sometimes we tend to do things that other put us to do in some way, family, friends, etc. And we start to do something very different from what we really believe to do. So I think that success can be it depends a lot of factors, but I think that to me it's a line between the external and the internal, right? We need to work on ourselves, but we also need to provide to others, and that way you can some way balance a line where you can see your line of success. But I think success is not just like, oh, I'm rich, I'm happy, etc. It goes further than that, right? We really needed to have this sense of like being part of the society that we live in. And I think we really need to build that in the world we live in nowadays, especially after COVID and the conflict that we're pressing through. And yeah,
thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. I think one of the takeaways that I have from the reading that I've been doing is that we as people, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, I'm going to put myself right in there, we become complacent and we do things that we feel very comfortable with because we don't like to get out of our comfort zone. And I know for me, I've done a lot of things that have made me feel uncomfortable because I specifically wanted to push myself. And that's why I'm doing this challenge again, because the 75 Hard challenge, which is 75 days, 2 workouts a day, each for 45 minutes, and they cannot be consecutive. They have to be at different times. One of them must be outside. It doesn't matter. And the founder of this program talked about, it doesn't matter if it's raining. You don't want to put yourself in jeopardy, right? But he mentions tornado, hurricane. You still have to spend 45 minutes outside. You want to be safe. You have to drink a gallon of water. You have to eat a reasonable diet. No cheating. There's no cheating days at all. And you have to take a picture of yourself every day. It has to be uploaded. And you have to read 10 pages of a book. So all of these things are uncomfortable in some way or another, and mean you have to restructure the entire way you think about your day. And so the reason why I'm doing it is because not everybody's going to do it, and not everybody can do it. I want to be one of those people who does things that other people can't do. I want to be in that group of people. I want to be Oprah Winfrey. I want to be Tony Robbins. That's who I want to be. And so they're the goals that I set for myself at another level. So 2 years from now, I want to be 20 times more productive, 20 times more successful, 20 times wealthier than I am now. So thanks for listening. Who wants to comment on
Thank you
what?
for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yes, Caroline.
I'd like to, and I forgot, and I shouldn't do really, because now I've achieved that no mortgage, which is saving me an absolute fortune. It gives me freedom. And that freedom was something that I was after. That was something that for me would deem a level of success. And that freedom gives me time to sort out my home. And it also gives me time to be, if I meet someone, in a relationship, you know, and not to have to be confined just to work, but to kind of have the freedom out of the financial crisis that I found myself in to live a bit more, you know, and do a few more things that I really want to do. And that for me is 10xing my life, because I've not got the worry about having to specifically work right at this minute. I can actually be flexible and free to do some of the other things to make my home more beautiful.
I love that.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
thank you.
beautiful.
So, can I add something, or I don't know?
Yes,
Madeleine, you should go
yeah, no,
first.
please. That's why we're here.
You remind me something that I saw sometime. I believe that many of you are aware, the miracle mornings. I don't know if any of you are aware about that. It's actually something very similar to what you mentioned, JACALYN. That you do some exercises in the morning. There is a part of like spirituality. There's a part of exercise. There's a part to read book. So it's actually a planning from somebody from US that was famous some time ago, and they still exist. Maybe we can share later something about that. There's actually a book, and there's even a documentary. It's Miracle Mornings. And it's very interesting because it's you try to do the activities on 5 a.m., which for a lot of people, it's a challenge. And then you do these 5 minutes from everything that you can. And I think that one point that I noticed from your speech and also from Caroline is that it's very interesting because sometimes we forget about this thing to structure, right? Especially because of procrastination. If you do a little bit of everything every day, that's the benefit. Because sometimes we put our mind to be like, okay, now I'm going to finally lose weight. Now I'm going to finally be rich and successful. And then you try to do everything one day. You forget about everything else. You forget that you have a life, that you have a mother, that you have a husband or whatever. And that, I mean, that's not going to work. And that's, I think, that the magic that you both mentioned, if you can plan everything and have at least of a little bit of everything every day, that's the way to do. And that's definitely, I mean, one of the major things when it comes to success. That, yeah, thanks for that you both added, that I just reminded about these steps that we need to follow. And yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
no, thanks. I appreciate that as well. And I think we all have 24 hours in a day, right? So if you're going to make a change, you have to look at those 24 hours and how are you going to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, you can be in your comfort zone, can be all wrapped up in your robe and your blanket. You're not being productive. I mean, maybe if you're spending your whole day doing that, you can look and say, well, and maybe you're happy doing that. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm all about goals. I'm all about gold stars. I'm all about getting the A. And so I'm interested in doing a number of things. And some people say, well, you don't have a social life. I don't care. I don't care about having a social life at this point in time. This is the track that I'm on. I'm 60 years old. And if I'm not going to do it now, I don't know when I'm going to do it. So the point is, you look at your day and you say, okay, I'm just going to use the 75 hard example. You have to work out twice a day. We got to plan that. You got to plan, because one time you're outside. Are you going to be outside at night? Or are you going to, what's the weather going to be? You got to take that into consideration. When are you going to go to sleep so that you have enough rest? And if you're going to drink a gallon of water, you got to start drinking as soon as you wake up. You can't wait till the end of the night. And so all of it is about testing your mind to see how strong you are. And it's so easy to come up with excuses. And that's what we do in life when it comes to everything. We have to think about our why. Why are we doing it? And then I also think use visualization and see yourself. Okay, what will I look like and feel like in 75 days? What will I look like and feel like in 2 years? What will this business, this platform look like in 2 years? Who will be here with me in 2 years? All these things are things that you have to actually think through. And then in order, let's say who's going to be here in 2 years? What am I going to do to keep you here for 2 years? How am I going to help support your business? So all of those things have to be taken into consideration. Dr. Chan, what are you thinking about now? I see the wheels are turning.
We're just somewhere else on a different planet. I believe that it's important to plan and have your vision boards, but I also believe in keeping it sacred, especially your actual plans, because there's a certain thing of, you know, it's the energy. Everything is energy, and we can be psychically attacked. We can be where a lot of people have a lot of fear of you making it and they don't. So therefore, they will end up attaching their energy cords to you. So I believe, yeah, definitely make your vision board, do your creative visualization, put your emotional intelligence, put your every day in some way or form. And if you're really down, then sing it or dance it or something to remind yourself that you're going for that goal. But I really believe in not sharing what you actually want to achieve, because if you do, then it's almost you're giving out your treasures before you've actually put them into a beautiful necklace, before you've actually created that necklace with that beautiful jewel or pearl necklace that you've got on here, you know.
I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that, because I just shared what I'm going to do. I just told the whole world it's out there forever.
Yeah,
so,
you did, but you didn't say how you're going to do it, or you didn't say what your actual visualization was. You didn't actually paint. It's almost like the clean canvas, and you did the sketch, but you didn't fill in the color.
Like a coloring book.
Yeah, and it's the color that people can come in and diffuse things.
Okay, I'm going to go to Tiago.
Yes.
Dr. Chan just mentioned about people coming in and diffusing. Okay, if you have a plan and people are not supportive of your plan, what are you going to do? Are you going to derail your plan because you have naysayers and haters, or are you going to keep on with your plan?
I think the most important is to look to ourselves and the people that really matter, because sometimes, even I can see for myself, I have a lot of experience of that I was really doing a lot of things, and there was a lot of naysayers, and I also had doubts. And I think that when it comes to that, is that you definitely need a time to yourself, but also very important to that, you need to have a time to talk to the people that really matter to you, because there's always people that they like you, even if you are really in a bad situation. And those people, they really like you. They truly believe that they like, I mean, of course, like I cannot describe even your mother, your friend, but there's always these people that they support you, even in the worst situation in your life. And that's probably the people that you should talk. So I think is this thing. You need to look to that few people that even in your worst situation, they are still some way believe in you. You look to yourself, so you probably have a time to, especially in social media nowadays, I think that's important to turn off social media, at least maybe one day, once a week, at least, or something like that, just to have some sort of like human contact, right, without having this. And also, I think one thing important, especially for me, I can say, is have contact with spirituality. I mean, I say spirituality because, of course, everybody have their own notion nowadays. I mean, I still know that there are some people that they still have some difficult ideas with their spirituality, but I do believe in this sort of meditation, right? This way that you try to connect with like a higher self, and then you try to check that. And I think that's the best way to do, because even nowadays we are really get by the flow, right? There is a lot of people doing something trend, and we go, and sometimes we even don't realize that we don't really want to do that, but we're just going by the flow. So I think that we really need to have this time and really look at the people that really matter to us, and have this sort of like, I don't know, go out, have a meditation, stay a little bit in a park for a moment, try to have this sort of internal realization and see if you're actually doing something that you really want to do, or you're just being pushed because you're just being pushed by the social media. And unfortunately, a lot of people are nowadays doing that. I can say even I have situations like that, and I think that we need to have this balance.
Good points. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Caroline.
I'd like to add to that, and I was going to go into that space. You very neatly, sort of created a segue for me to neatly say. So thank you for that.
You're hired, Tiago.
We are, and it depends on what your reality is and what you believe. And I would like to share what I believe in terms of spirituality, that we are energy. Everything is energy, and there is a field. In terms of, everything is there. The universe is the field. And so whatever we're thinking is in the field. And so everything is available in the field. So whatever we focus on, we can then attract to us from the field. So, when I want something really big, I literally focus on very little else. And then without getting distracted, and it's quite hard for me to hold anything else down usually, but if it's really, really big, like sort of creating mortgage free and a home cash as a cash purchase, that was a huge deal, and I had to really, really focus to the demise of everything else, and got it done, and I was surprised how much I pushed to get that done, but it was there. It was in the field because it was there. Now, if I was kind of pulling back and saying, oh, it can't be done, there's this going on, that's going on, the rates of this, and then the universe would be confused and so go, oh, you don't want it now, so it'll take it back. And then I'll go, oh yeah, of course I do want it, I'm gonna focus and I'm gonna get this done, and I've got to leave, and so the universe goes, okay, I'll bring it back. And then when you decide, oh, I'm not quite ready yet, the universe says, oh, make up your mind, so he takes it. So it's kind of whatever you focus on in terms of what you want. I haven't really ever fallen totally flat on my face and been absolutely lost without no paddle, in the rowing boat. So I just think that sometimes we are here to learn things, so we evolve and grow from them as well. So I don't believe that everything or anything is a mistake, it's a learning. And when we do fall over and we do make a mistake and it's not quite right, not what we thought, I actually feel we learn more from that sometimes than we do from getting everything perfect. I've learned a lot from the crash in 2008 to make sure I don't do the same thing again, to make sure I'm a lot more sorted out, because I was very exposed in 2008 and I lost a lot of money. But this time I'm not as exposed.
That's excellent that you learned from what happened, and that gives you peace of mind and confidence that a lot of other people don't have. And I think that's part of what I really wanted us to get to today, is that whatever it is you're looking to achieve, why not take it up a notch? Because you still have to do the work. You still have to have your mind, your head in the game. And today, as I mentioned, Dr. Chan and I took this brain health course by Dr. Sadia Rajput. And what we learned was that 95%, I think it was, 95% of our thoughts are negative, and they perpetual. We thought it yesterday and we're bringing it into today. It's in our subconscious. So we were told to take a rubber band. There's 7 steps to eliminating this whole negative process that they're called ants. And, you snap this and then do some things. But the point is, we sabotage ourselves because we don't know what's going on with our brain. And in the meantime, we're exposed to all these toxins in various ways, physically, emotionally, spiritually, that have an impact on our brain. And then therefore, as we're about to get to wherever it is we want to go, we give up. we go, it's not going to happen. I've been doing this for 30 days, but if I went 31, it was going to happen. And we don't have the confidence and belief in ourselves. So what are your thoughts when I say that? Have you ever felt that way, that you were so close to getting something, you didn't know it, but you gave up and somebody else got whatever it is that you wanted?
Absolutely. There is a term for it, and I can't think of what the term for that is. It'll come to me, I'm sure. But it's when you get so close and just before you're about to hit the jackpot or just about to make it, you pull back. I've actually had masters and trainers that I've worked with for years that are Americans, that push me at the point that I'm saying, oh no, I can't do it. I'm just going to give up. That's it. It's not going to work. And they push me over that bit. And then it's like only a little tiny effort to get the to get the goal. And so it is good to always be working with other people. I've just been very luxuriously working all the time with trainers and mentors and teachers that I share things with, and they will be there to move me through that. I wish I could think of the word. There's a word where we kind of give up, and we lose the focus or lose the goal of what we thought that we could get. And it's at that point, if we just keep going, it's possible.
Absolutely. One thing I want to share, and then I want to have you talk a little bit about this. What about doing what you said you were going to do? So if you set a goal for yourself and all kinds of things happen, but you say to yourself, I set this goal for a reason, and regardless of what's being thrown at me, what's coming, I'm still moving forward. I think that is also where people get tripped up and they get lost, because you say to yourself, oh, I guess it's not meant to be. Well, no, you gave up.
Yeah.
How will you know? Because you didn't do what you need to do.
A classic. No, I was just going to say a classic example, Dr. JACALYN, is, for example, after a New Year's Eve, and people say, that's it, I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking for a while after the festivities and everything. So that's it. I'm going to have a whole 2 months off drink. And they don't do it. They do it for 1 week, 2 weeks, but then they just go, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this.
I remember when I was, sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I just said, and then they make such a big thing about it. That's it. New Year's Eve resolution. This is what's going to happen. And they all put all this great thing to the soup bowl of this is what's going to happen. And they build themselves up. And actually, when they're in the process of doing it, they give up. We give up. Sorry. We give up.
Human nature.
Yeah.
I was just going to add that when I was going for my doctorate, it was a 6-year program. I was working, I had a part-time job, I had my career, and there were other people in the same similar situation. It was not easy, but people got into year 3 and they dropped out. And I was thinking, wait, you spent the money. Like, what are you doing? You got to keep going. But we just give up because we lose. I think we lose our why.
Yeah.
Great point there. We lose our why. That's a key point.
And why? Sometimes we lose our why because of distractions. And like Caroline, what you were sharing about your process for closing on your home, that was arduous. There were all kinds of things that were being thrown at you and testing you at every single point. And you could have said, hey, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to stay where I am. I'm going to rent an apartment. But you followed through because you had your why. You wanted to get to where you are. And that was not easy.
I've had a couple of friends call me since in this last few weeks asking me, how did you do it? That's just so hard what you did. I says, tell me about it. I spent half a year sorting this, never mind the couple of years beforehand, but it's been a solid 6 months of really being focused. But, I could see it. And I always said I'd be mortgage free before I'm 60. And I think that's the other thing. It's intention. It's not just saying things, it's feeling things. If I was saying it but not feeling it, that's something else, because the feeling has a lot of energy behind it. We can use affirmations and say, I want to be mortgage free. And my mum would always say to me when I was a child, you always want child. My mum was really cool with all those kind of things, and so I would say, this is what I want to achieve. And when I do it, I think, right then, and I've moved on to the next goal, really, of sorting out, sort of the property in terms of being unpacked. I'm still in boxes. But, it's always moving on for me to the next thing. But it's having a very clear picture of what that looks and feels like. Because if there's no feeling, there is no action.
I love that. I love that. That's a great tagline. I think also it's setting ourselves up to win. And I'd like each of you to think of an example that you'd like to share. So for me, I started the 75 hard today. It's day one. So I already have a full day planned, right? I had the class this morning. I've got shows. I have another show after this. I have a show. So in between shows, I went for a walk for an hour. It's like a windstorm outside, wind whipping around. But I decided to listen to a podcast about the program to keep me inspired. After this show, then the next show, I've got to go to the gym. And then I've got to come back, take a shower, and do another show. But I'm already told myself, this is what I'm doing. So I'm at peace because I have a plan and I'm committed. If I was just like, oh, I'm going to try to fit this. You can't fit in this kind of stuff. Caroline couldn't fit in all those things that were thrown at her. You have to have a plan and conviction. And it has to be so important to you that you see yourself already there. And you know that things are going to be thrown your way to distract you, to derail you. And do you have the mental fortitude to keep going? Tiago, would you like to give an example of some time that, or something that you want to do? How about that? Something that you'd like to do in the next 2 years?
I want to help more people like we all here want to do, I guess.
So when can you make it into a concrete, can you make it into an actual statement that you will put some skin in the game, you'll stand behind? You don't have to do it right now, but think about it.
Yeah. I think that it's what you mentioned about like planning. For example, I'm reading some new books and some materials, especially for some specific matter, especially with men's health. Especially people that have like some sort of addictions, because I think nowadays men and women are bombarded by that. But one thing also, I just want to add something very important that you mentioned is that we have these beliefs, right, system that's built to us when we are a child sometimes. And I just want to say that something very, very precise we need to say. The same way that there is despair, there is hope. And I mean, everybody have that. And that's true for everybody, but it's exactly what we are doing here. When you try to build your system to more this strong belief that you can do things, and you build it based on hope and the why that you mentioned, I think that's the way that you try to do, because everybody have a problem, everybody have despair, and we never know. You can fail, and then you can go back again and try to succeed. I mean, we have a lot of example of people that failed because of despair or other situations, and then they succeed again with a totally different things. And I mean, that's really important when you have this hope, the why that you mentioned, and also you need to program yourself. So yeah, just go back when you mentioned, I believe that for me, I really needed to structure more, especially the study that I'm doing, because I'm trying to read some books more specific, especially with men's health. And then I'm trying to also utilize it with some people that I'm working with, and also with other people that I plan to work in another platform that I have. But I'm still trying to manage my calendar. I'm going to be very honest, I'm still in the basics when compared to you that have already the planning and things like that.
Well, I appreciate your honesty about that. And at least you know where you are. You know where you are, and you have some semblance of where it is you need to go. And so you'll be able to drill down. So it's actually finite, and then you can actually put actions behind it. And it's hard to believe we're almost out of time. Let's go over to Dr. Chan. Can you briefly give us something that you'd like to accomplish in the next 2 years?
Yeah, I would like Star Child, my book, and the musical, and people go, Star Child, you know, going, yeah, Star Child. And I would like to, chanting Star Child, literally going to see. I'd like it to be like that. But in all honesty and truth, I would really like it so that I always remain true to myself in bringing the divinity of my inner world and outer world and balancing it out where it can help many others that are drawn to it and want to find out their magic too. I want them to find their magic as I find my magic. Might be different, same magic, but different dreams, aspirations. I want to be able to bring their dream to them.
Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. So maybe you want to think about how to make that into an elevator pitch that's translatable, that let's say you were looking for investors or you were looking for partners or you were looking for clients, that you'd be able to succinctly say, this is what it is I'm doing and this is the value that I can bring.
Well, it's the same with you, Dr. Jacqueline, in the way that when Ian Turner introduced me and I saw your programs, and I thought, wow, she's a massive American big talk, high celebrity. I really, honestly, no, you gave this and you still do.
I could walk down the street, nobody knows who I am.
No, well, maybe that's something, but and I thought, you're so high on this mountain, I can never reach that.
Then you won't.
But I did, because I'm with you. I'm actually working as well as all of us, but sometimes our perception thinks it to be bigger mountain than what it is. What I'm saying is, and you are this big mountain. And you're going into an even more bigger mountain, a big mothership, as I said. You're the mothership. So, yeah, for me, I did reach that.
Well, and something about you, I think you're very coachable.
It was in my vision board to be working alongside you or to collaborate. It was in my vision board in 2020, the beginning, first time I saw you.
Well, that's amazing. And you've been wonderful to work with because you're very structured. You get things. I know if I say we're working on this project, it is done already because you are phenomenal. We are definitely running out of time. I'm going to go back to Caroline. And
I have two very quick things.
Go ahead.
The first thing is I'm going to do more group work online, and I already have 2 training courses, one in July, one in August, specifically on group coaching. So, 2 specific core programs to deliver. So that's already in alignment. It's already happening. And that would make it easier because then I can charge something that's less money, so making it more affordable for people, for me to work with, and then make it easier for people to work with me in a much smaller way and still get a wonderful outcome. And the second thing is, in all that copious amounts of free time that I managed to extract from working in groups, to have a bit more social and discover the delights of my new home area and build a community in this area. So it's very focused, one on social and personal, and the other in business in terms of a different way to work.
Fantastic. Well, thank you to all of you for sharing and for inspiring and continuously showing up. I really appreciate it. All right. Everyone's speechless. Everyone's thinking about what they need to be doing.
Tumbleweed.
Yes. So our next show is coming up. It's actually our newest book launch of the Lady Ella series. And if I can find the cover, and hopefully you'll join us for that. Here it is. It's The Ocean Calls and Lady Ella Listens. And we're going to meet the characters who are on the book cover. They all represent real people who took the power of listening. Tiago, we love to have you on our team of elevated listeners. And then we can feature you in an upcoming book. So that's that. And then I have another announcement, which is we have our first coloring book, which will now be available for children, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella on Gentle Farm. So
Love it. Love it.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for being here, and we will look forward to seeing you. Tiago, so nice to have you with us today. You're welcome to come back anytime you would like.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Thank you, Dr.
Tiago.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Caroline.
guys.
Bye,
Thank you, everybody.
everyone.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.